Okay, so we are here with the next portion of our One Piece Devil Fruit rankings. Yeah, I know I wanted to do more than one of these a week, but it ended up just becoming a weekly thing, so that's what we're doing. I don't know how far we're going to get in today's. We last time did D through M because A through C took an entire hour. And then D through M. And we're going to probably go for about an hour again, unless we're like very close to the end by the time an hour hits, and then we'll just go over. But we're starting with the ends, and we're starting with Nico Robin. So, as a reminder, we are ranking this kind of in accordance with practicality. Maybe we'll do a different ranking on just coolness and usage within the series in the future. Or maybe I'll just make that list on my own and just put it on the Discord. Just because this is taking so long to, you know, make this full list. Because there's quite a lot of devil fruits. Um but also to be fair, this is also including smile fruits, so but that being said, so Nico Robin. Robin can basically flower her body parts with the Hana Hana no Mi on any surface, on any other person's body, and even to the point of creating literal clones of her own full body that can be used for espionage and various other things. Um, and there's various uses for a devil fruit power like this. Like, obviously, it can be used for, like, the reasons in series, spying and whatnot, or, like, using her hands to, like, fight people. But, like, you could also, like, have a chain of hands in order to do something like grab something without having to get up or whatnot. It's kind of like a similar vibe to Buggy or Luffy in that regard, where it just creates a lot more mobility. Or instead of creating like a chain of arms to do that, you could also just have a hand pop up like on a high shelf to knock something down into your arms. There's a lot of uses. There's absolutely a lot of uses for a power like this that make it very practical. She also has the ability to like create basically wings for herself to be able to fly short distances. She can create nets with her arms, just all kinds of stuff. It's actually a very versatile power if you have the basically creativity to use it in some pretty unique ways. And so I'm going to put Nico Robin in the A tier, and I'm going to actually put her above Buggy and Luffy because, again, a lot of those same abilities could come into play there, except because of the potential with creativity and just diversity with how her powers can work. I feel like she's a step above them. So this kid, I know he uses a flute that can like he's from a filler arc. I believe it's like right before Jaya and Skypiea, right after um Robin joins at the end of Alabasta. And I believe it's the Rainbow Mist arc, but I know he can like kind of mind control people and take away memories or something like that. But I don't know what's actually his devil fruit power and what's like this like flute he has. And so since I'm not super confident in this, I'm not going to look things up like constantly. I'm going to put you in the don't remember category just cuz I just don't remember what your devil fruit is. This next character is one of Black Maria's snake ladies. She's a smile fruit eater, and I'm kind of putting, for the most part, all the smile fruit eaters in the same area. They're all around here, along with a lot of the Zoan types. Because in terms of practicality, a lot of them don't really have a huge amount. I think your name is no. I was gonna say I think your name is Doberman, but no, it can't be. this is a vice admiral, right? There's a bunch of vice admirals. I I would say that I just don't remember what your power is then, because I'm not 100%. And while we're here, let's put a couple more that I don't remember the power of. I'm not even 100% who you are. Are you a mink? Maybe. Um, I think I'm. I don't remember you. I don't remember you. Um, I think everyone else is good for now. Okay. So next we have your name starts with an O. Onimaru? Something like that. This little fox dude from Wano has the ability to transform into a human form, which is actually how we first see him. This is an ability that really only has one use. And it's not really practical for like someone like myself. So honestly, I think F tier. It's just I don't see the practical use in something like this for myself and everything. Again, that's how I'm ranking the devil fruits in this tier list. We're ranking it on how I would want, or how much I would want it and how much use I would have out of it in real life. So that one would, yeah, be pretty much nothing. Um, well, that's Oven. I can't for some reason remember what your name is, but you're just Cream. And again, not really much of any use, I guess, unless you're like a baker or something. So I guess I'll put you in D tier, but like you're gonna be like down there even below Mont d'Or. Oven, kind of the same thing. It's like it's a one use power that really has no other practical applications, like heating, because Oven is just heat. It's not even fire with him. It's like, yeah, you could heat up like a cup of coffee or something like that, or some food on a plate. Yay. It's like there's some level of practicality, which is why I'll put you in D. In fact, I'll put Oven a little bit higher. I'll put you above Hina. Yeah, actually, some of these are actually a little less interesting than I thought. I'll put you below Baccarat. How about that? But it's like it's still not enough to go any higher than D tier because it's like it's such a single use thing that it just doesn't have enough diversity. And honestly, there's a certain point where it just isn't useful anymore. At least for me. Maybe in other jobs, like if someone's like in the auto industry or something where they need to like weld a lot of stuff, it's like I could see that being useful. But like for someone like me, there's like outside of reheating food and drinks, no use really. Anyway, page one is another Zoan type. He's a dinosaur. I'm gonna put him just down here generally. I do not remember what your name is, but this is the guy from the one video game. I'm trying to remember. It's like it's called I think it's called R. I'm not sure. I know the game. I've played the game. I just can't think of the exact name, but he's basically a vampire. That's basically what his ability is. Um this power is another one of those powers that really doesn't have a practical use unless you're a bad guy. And so I would consider that an F power. If your power is only useful if you're a villain, then that is an F power, especially in terms of practicality for me. I'm gonna put you just above Absalom. Next we have another power for Zoan types, because you could turn into a turtle. And it's just like Nah. Not really any huge use there. Okay, so we have a Zoan type, but a flying Zoan. You could turn into like a hawk. And flying Zoans are a little more practical because flight, but it's still nothing like altogether special. And there's other devil fruits that do the flight thing better. So Perona's is another ability that you almost want to say doesn't have practical use unless you're a bad guy because of the hollows, the negative hollows passing through someone and causing them to, become negative, become like self-hating. But her devil fruit actually has other abilities than that. It has kind of an espionage angle, sort of like Robin's, where she can have the ghosts like travel over long distances and she can spy and even speak through them, which also adds to like communication abilities. She can also use her ability to basically send her own ghost out of her body to be able to travel distances, including basically giving the ability of flight without being able to be physically hurt in any way, as long as her body is just, safe while this is going on. Um, and her spirit form can also change size. Perona's ability actually has some practical use for travel. And there's a lot of factors that you could utilize her powers in if you have enough creativity. Obviously the negative hollow aspect really doesn't have a lot of factor, but I'd put this up a bit. I'd say this is at least B tier. I don't think I'd put it above B, but I'm going to put it above Kid and below Morley. Because there is some practical use for it. But this also goes to show you how this is practical. Because in terms of just favorite devil fruits based on like how they're used in the series and stuff, Perona's would be higher. I actually really love the Horo Horo fruit. Next we have Parasparrow, who can create, manipulate, turn people into, and control candy. Which is, it's basically just a hard candy. It's not like all candy. There's a certain level of practicality in terms of like it could, at least help with world hunger and stuff like that, even if it's not too nutritious. It can at least do something. And it's like you always have candy available. But like otherwise, it's not really that useful. So I'm going to put it in D tier. It's an upper D tier, but I'll put it just below Brooks. Next, we're going to have another one I'm just going to automatically say is also in D tier, and that's Pika. Pika is able to merge with stone, ground, earth, rock, that kind of stuff, and it's like, okay. For a regular person, practicality, there is not really any practical use to that. If you're getting into a fight, I could see that being a big deal. But otherwise, I'm going to put it into D tier. And Pierre basically can turn into a Pegasus. That's his devil fruit. It's another one of those that's a Zoan type that doesn't really have a huge amount of practicality, but it does have flying. And because it has flying, we'll put it like right around here. The flight ones go up here because they have the flying. This guy is another one of the smile fruit users, I believe. You go down there. Okay, so now Ace has fire. A lot of people cite Ace's abilities as obviously very cool, but how practical would it be to control and become fire and stuff? In a regular everyday world, not at all. Like the only practicality is pretty much the same practicality that Oven has, and that's being able to heat things. Or again, being able to use it for like soldering or something like that. But for someone who's just living a super ordinary everyday life, there's like no real practicality to that. I would never have a reason to use this. Like, the closest thing is if my stove wasn't lighting, and I just use that to help my stove light instead of one of those like stick lighters. That's literally it. It's such a cool power, but has very little practicality. So I'm gonna put him. I'm actually gonna put him under oven because I think oven can do a little more with just heat instead of fire. Now pudding has another power that you could argue is a supervillain power, but I would argue is more just a bad power in general. Pudding's ability allows her to remove and even manipulate people's memories, including her own. I think that's a bad power because I believe that that is extremely fucked. I think it is a bad thing to do from just any standpoint. Taking away memories or even manipulating someone's memories is really fucked up and should never be done to yourself or others. There's an entire Owl House episode about this shit and how that's a really bad thing. There was an entire Gravity Falls episode about this. This is an F tier ability for me because I think it's just that bad of a power. But I'm going to put it above Magellan because I think those powers are more like actively supervillain powers. Next we have Queen. Queen is another Zoan type, another ancient Zoan specifically. We're not counting Queen's cybernetic enhancements because that's separate from the Devil Fruit. The Devil Fruit is just the Brachiosaurus. I think it's a Brachiosaur. Either way. So that just goes down there. Raizo has like ninja powers as his Devil Fruit. I don't know the exact specificity of like what's just ninja stuff and what's actually his Devil Fruit. Oh my god, what is his what okay, I don't look all of these up and I'm not going to look a lot of them up, but like I'm confused as to what's Raizo's Devil Fruit and what's the ninja abilities. So this is actually something I'm going to look up because I'm not entirely sure what it actually is. Okay, it's the scrolls. Okay. See, you could see how that's a confusion, though. So the scrolls that he can create, that he can use to hold water and stuff, that he can use to summon things, that is his Devil Fruit. That has a lot of practical uses. We've seen a lot of practical uses that he uses it for in the series, such as like, putting out fires by having water held in a scroll and stuff. Presumably you can hold anything in a scroll, which could also help with like, traveling, just having the ability to like carry stuff in a much more like, a less baggagey way. You know what I'm trying to say. There is definitely a lot of practical use to his abilities. Again, if you know how to use them, if you have the creativity and understanding how to really use them. I'd say this is an upper B tier. I don't think I would put this quite in an A tier, though. I'll put it above Kuzan, actually. Because there's so many uses you could use his scrolls for. Lucci has a speed factor with his Devil Fruit, but otherwise it's basically just, another Zoan type. And because of the speed factor, I'll put him a little bit higher. I'll put him above Jabra, which Jabra wouldn't like. But I can't put him higher than that. I just can't. Ryukugyu has the ability to basically become a tree and manipulate like wood and stuff. And it's like there is really no practical use for this. It's really not practical in any way. I wouldn't go as far as F tier, but I would say this is a D tier. I'm just gonna put you down here somewhere. It's like your ability is cool, I guess, but it's not practical. And I would actually put Sakazuki in the F tier because the magma, it's like it's the worst version of like Oven's heat and Ace's fire because it's just inherently destructive. It's so inherently destructive and dangerous. It just makes it instantly like pretty much villain level. There would be no real practical use for this outside of just being a villain. So yeah. San Juan Wolf just makes him bigger. It's just a devil fruit that makes him even bigger than he already was, and he was already massive. Not really any practicality to that. There'd be some practicality to making you a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger. So I think I'd actually put this in F tier. I really do think I would. Because it's just like, because of how much bigger it makes you. Sarah Hebe is another one. And yes, I know her name, by the way, because she's so pretty. She is so ridiculously pretty. I remember her name. She's another one who's one of Black Maria's women. She's also the school teacher in Wano. She's a D tier because it's another one that's like it's just a Zoan fruit. She can stretch her neck, so I guess there's some practicality to that. I guess I'll put you a little higher because of that, but that's as high as I can put her. You're just another Zoan fruit. Apu does music with his body. I guess there's something there. Like, that could be used for entertainment's sake. Like, if you really want to be a musician, that could be very helpful for that. I'll put you in C. I can't put you above C, but I'll put you in C. Sengoku has the Buddha fruit. This is, like, super unuseful unless you're in combat or whatnot. There is no practical use for this at all, so F tier. Yeah, right about there. Senor Pink can swim through solid material. I mean, I guess there's some maneuverability aspects to that. I'll put you like in lower C tier because the maneuverability aspects in that can actually genuinely help. But I'm gonna put you bottom of C tier. Uh, I don't I don't entirely recognize you. I recognize you, and your name is Sheepshead. You were one of Kaido's crew who infiltrated Zoe. I don't know what your devil fruit power is, but I'm assuming I think it's a smile fruit. I think it's like a sheep smile fruit. So I'm gonna put you with the other smile fruit eaters. Shiki can levitate, which is kind of like flying. It's basically a flight power. I'm just gonna put you with these other flight power dudes here. Shinobu can age things, which has like the tiniest like practical use in some very restrictive cases, but otherwise I'm going to put her below Ace. It's like there's the only like very practical thing it could be used for is like aging a person's body. Like that's really all I can really see, and even then there's like a lot of obvious issues with that. This next guy, I don't know his name, but he can rust things. That's an F tier power. It's bad, and also it's just, there's no good practical use to that, I feel. So I'm gonna put you here. I'll put you below pudding. No, above. I really don't like pudding's devil fruit. Um, I don't even know if I recognize this guy. Was he, maybe he was from a movie I haven't seen, because there's a couple of the movies I haven't seen. I'm also gonna put you down here because I don't remember you. I don't remember you offhand. Um, don't remember you offhand. Don't remember you entirely. Not really any clue who this is because of this image. Maybe. This is just some random people. I don't know who they're supposed to be specifically. Don't remember you. That's your rouge. Oh no, that's the berry guy, right? Then who is the other guy? Who's this guy? Hold on. This is definitely the berry guy. In that case, I don't know who you are. Okay, so that's the berry guy. Anyway, where was I? Okay, I'm not sure I recognize you. Oh, also we're at the end already. Damn. Wow, this list was front loaded. Not sure I recognize you. I recognize everyone else here though. Okay. So Smiley. Smiley's fruit is another one of those that's a Zoan type, just axolotl. So yeah. In fact, let's get some Zoans out of the way. You're the monkey one. Speed is a horse, but ends up becoming a centaur because of that, which is pretty fun. But again, we're judging on practicality here. Struzen. Human fruit would literally have no abilities towards a regular person like myself, so that's actually I would even put that in D tier because that's literally useless, or F tier rather. That's literally useless, but I'm still going to put it above pudding. Any other that would be completely... Oh, Diaz Drake. He's another Zoan type. As much as I love my boy Yamato, his devil fruit is another Zoan type that's like, it's cool. If this was a coolness ranking, he would be up there. But it's like he's probably the best fire-based devil fruit, because it's like he's a Zoan type and fire is part of that Zoan power because of the mythical Zoan. But it's like, or no, it's ice, isn't it? Actually, it might be both. Maybe he does fire and ice. Either way, it's like I can only put him like a little bit above everyone else. I'll put him above Pierre and why can't I think of your name? But I'll put him above there, right under Shiki, because it's like, there's maybe some practical use with like the ability aspect of it, but I can't put you higher than that. Alti, as much as I love Pachycephalosauri, you're down there. You go down into with the other Zoans. Suru, you can fold people like laundry. Your ability is fucking stupid. You can go down here. Viola, Wapple. You're another Zoan. And I think that's it in terms of Zoans and stuff. But real quick, there's one that I'm actually not sure because this character hasn't appeared much at all. And that's your Rouge. What is your Rouge's actual Devil Fruit ability? Convert damage received into physical strength and size. Okay, so it's kinetic energy, basically. Okay, there's a little bit of practical use for that. So we'll continue down here for now, like D and F tier. So let's go into more of these, the weaker abilities here. Oh, this guy. He's basically a Zoan too. His is definitely a little better because his almost has like a Brook-like ability to it though. Also, Zoans are in D tier, not F, because he has almost a Brook-like ability to like reform after death. He basically has multiple lives, though he changes through each one. But he actually has more lives than Brook, so I'm gonna put him above Brook. His Devil Fruit's a little more practical. Um, okay, smokers is gonna be low. Because smoker, there is the fact that his smoke can be used to like grab and hold on to things, to launch himself. There is a maneuverability and like a practicality to that, but that's still not gonna be super high. Some of these are like super useful. Okay. Um, we definitely have to put sugars down low. Because sugars is another one that's just an evil devil fruit. It's just a bad devil fruit. Because what her devil fruit does is that she turns people, anyone she touches, into a toy. But that person's entire existence is erased from reality to the point where no one who knew them before knows that they ever existed. And it's really fucked up, like extremely fucked up. This is absolutely a villain power. I'm gonna actually even only put her one above Absalom. Um, the sticky stickum of whatever the fuck your name, Treble. It's really fucking gross, but there might be some level of practicality to it. It's a D tier. It's a low D tier. I'm gonna just put him with the cream guy. It's like it's not worth the grossness. Any level of practicality that actually could be there. Anyone else that would be like super low like this? I don't think so actually. Okay, so let's go to the C tier stuff. So Vanderdecken's ability of like homing, he can like anything he throws will like home in on anything or anyone he like targets, which he also has to touch first. It's there is some level of practicality to this. Actually, I think this would be a D tier. But it's like the problem with this is like it would be good for like tricks and stuff or like for putting things in places or sending things to people. But it's like otherwise it's just like eh. There's not like a huge amount of usefulness there. I'll put you above. I'll put you below Yamato. Okay, and while we're down here, actually, Miss. Oh my God, what is your code name? I don't remember what your real name is, but I can't remember her code name. She's Mr. One's partner. I know that. She's at the bottom. She's under Wapple, so it probably starts with X, Y, or Z. I don't know. Either way, it's probably sorting it by her real name. Her power is basically just to create spikes on her body, which, again, is not really that useful. I'm going to put her below Shinobu. Because it's like, yeah, thinking about it, that's not really that useful. Okay, but going back up to C tier, we're definitely going to put your Rouge in C tier. Because it's like, for a normal person, like converting that kind of stuff to power and strength and size and all wouldn't be super useful. But there is some practical application if you are into like any kind of like combat or if you have a way to use that strength for like, I don't know, construction or some shit. But I guess I'm going with practicality for myself, aren't I? If I'm going for practicality with myself, it's a D tier. Because there's just, like, no reason I would ever use this. So let's put you there. No reason I could ever find to use this for myself. Smoker could be C tier because there is some little bit of something there. But because of the smoke aspect, I'll put him at the bottom of C. Now we get into some more actually useful ones. So let's start with Charlotte Smoothie. The ability to juice literally anything. And from what we've seen, it doesn't permanently hurt or kill, like, a living being. And it doesn't, like, destroy a non-living being. Or non-living object. It's just, you can just, like, get juice out of anything. which, is actually super practical. Because one, it means you always have juice on you, which means you'll never get thirsty. But also on top of that, it's like that's kind of one of those almost solving world hunger things, which even if not necessarily super practical to myself personally, is one of those abilities, one of those kind of like things that I have to give a high tier to because there's just so many active uses for that and it's so important. But I would absolutely use this ability. I would find it super practical. I don't think I'll put it above a B though. I think I'll put it at the top of B, but I think that's as high as I feel I would go for that one. Struzen kind of has a similar ability. He can make like anything edible. It's not necessarily going to taste good. Or no. Okay. It's either that it tastes good but doesn't have any nutritional value, or it has nutritional value but doesn't taste good. I don't remember which one it is. So this is another one I do have to briefly look up here. It's the Cuckoo Cuckoo no Mi. Transforming any object into food. Does not even need to be cooked. It can provide nourishment, but does not taste good. Okay, so see that I had to look that up because that does make a difference. Because if it just tasted good but didn't provide nourishment, it would be lower. But because it can provide nourishment and just doesn't taste good, it's like it doesn't say it tastes like as bad as like devil fruits are typically said to taste or anything. It just isn't like that great of a taste. But if it actually provides nourishment, I have to give it an A tier. I have to. That's like that is absolutely a world hunger solving ability. It's like it's so useful. It's so important. I think I would actually put this like at the top of A tier, but I'm going to put it under specifically Mancherie and above Doflamingo. That is that useful of a devil fruit ability. It sucks that it doesn't taste good because you want it. You would obviously would want the nutritional value and good taste, but it's like if you have to choose one, it would absolutely be the nutritional value. Now, Tama's ability, she can create the Kibidongo that makes any animal loyal to her. The problem with this is that the animal has to eat the Kibidongo, which in reality would not be super easy to like make happen. And I don't think the Kibidongo outside of that is like nutritional. Again, I guess this is something I'm going to have to look up briefly. I don't think it like actually works that way. Tama's devil fruit. I think it's just for the ability. Oh no, it is nutritious. And whenever animals or smile eat them, they immediately become tame and obedient. But they are nutritious. Okay. It's just the taming ability doesn't work on normal humans. Okay. Uh, Give me a second here. Oh, hold on. Now I'm getting like I wanted to like double check and now I'm getting like contradictory information here. Now this is saying they're not nutritious. They do not provide sustainable nourishment or fill up hunger. In fact, it is established that making the dongo consume. Well, yeah, we know that. Okay, so if they don't have any nutritional value, which it seems like that, like looking that up, that is more accurate. Without nutritional value, they're useless in like most situations. But I'll put them in D tier in case I don't know, if you're ever being attacked by an animal, I guess there's that aspect, though it does take time to create it, so you have to be like, you have to find the time to be able to make it. I'll put you about right in the same area as Shinobu. But the rest of these are absolutely top tier. So Law's Devil Fruit is one of the most broken in the verse. We know this. It's basically, he has the power to even like extend life and stuff like that, and possibly grant immortality with his Devil Fruit. But also just like, his power is basically the ultimate Doctor Devil Fruit and can basically do pretty much everything Chopper wants to do as a doctor. It mostly seems to work with like surgical stuff, and I don't know how easy it is to use on yourself, but it is absolutely an A tier Devil Fruit. I'm not going to put it S tier because it's like it because of the surgical aspect, but I'll put it at the top of A tier. Um, Viola's Devil Fruit allows for like information gathering and being able to see things from long distances away, so you can check on a lot of things. I would say it's a B tier. I wouldn't say it's an A tier. There's a lot of practical use for it, but I wouldn't go as far to say. I'd say her and Perona have similar abilities for checking on information and stuff. But Perona's is a little more fun, so I'll put hers above. And then Wapples. Wapple has the ability to eat anything, turn it into part of his body, or even expel it to create something else. And he actually made a fortune on this because he was able to, create Wapo metal. He was able to use this ability to basically enhance ore and metals and stuff, and it's such a useful ability. There's like, again, depending on like your creativity and how you can figure out how to use it, there's definitely a lot of practical uses for it. It could also very much help with just a lot of things. Now, I don't think, again, I think this is another one I'd put at the top of B tier. I'm going to put it under Smoothies, though. Or not, even under Raizo, but not under Kuzan. But it definitely deserves to be up here because it is practical for a number of reasons. The only problem with his Devil Fruit is it does cause intense hunger. Like, you're never really full. So actually, that's going to bump it down quite a bit, thinking about it. I'll bump him down to the bottom of B tier because of that downside. If it wasn't for that downside, he would be upper B tier, but because of the downside, he's lower B tier. But that seems to be it. From what we can tell, that's everyone. So there are quite a few that we have in the don't remember category, and I'm not going to look all of them up because I don't even know their names. But as you can see, we have our full list here. By no one's surprise, the most practical Devil Fruit for me is obviously Ivankov's. It's just, as a trans person, it's the kind of Devil Fruit I wish I could have for a number of reasons. And the lowest one, the worst one in my eyes is Absalom's, because I just see no like positive practical application for it. It's a villain power. And considering like its main uses are also for creepy shit, yeah. It's just terrible. Just really bad. But that is my full rankings for One Piece's Devil Fruits. And specifically the fruits, not just the eaters. But yeah, I might do a version of this list for specifically like coolness factor and the way they're used in the series, because again, that would be an entirely different list. But generally speaking, this is the list in terms of like practicality and how useful these kinds of powers would be in real life, especially to just, an everyday person. And so you can see there's only 3 of them in the S tier. And yeah, I think I got like pretty accurate in terms of all of that. So, um but let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.